Welcome everyone to an episode of Finance Spur. Financial success is one of the most inspiring stories today. Rags to riches and hard work really inspired people to aim for the sky. But sometimes, doing everything to achieve success at a point where ethical standards are no longer considered tends to make you fall from the sky, and sometimes can make you face 100 years in prison for financial fraud. Today, we'll learn about one of the greatest scams in American financial history involving a startup, JP Morgan Chase, and $175 million. This is also one of the most recent financial frauds, only being discovered this November 2022. U.S. Attorney Damian Williams quoted about the case. Entrepreneurs who lie to advance their businesses and that their lies will catch up to them. This is the story of Charlie Javis and Frank Financial Aid. She was born in 1990 in Westchester County, New York, to a father who worked at a hedge fund and a mother who is a life coach and a former teacher. She attended the well-known private school, the French-American School of New York. She then graduated from the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania with a bachelor's degree in finance and legal studies in 2013. Charlie had her first venture when she was in high school in a story oddly similar to Elizabeth Holmes' The Blood Testing Fraud. When Charlie had their trip to Thailand, she saw that people in developing countries lacked access to credit and loans. She then had an idea to start a microfinance product nonprofit called Power Up. It is a microfinance online platform that is used for social good, to quote, "end poverty with a click of a mouse." It works by collecting small student contributions to make loans possible. Power Up made her headlines. She landed a feature in Inc. magazine. They called her idea one of the coolest college startups. Fast Company also listed her as one of 100 of the most creative people. The recognition caught the eye of the Peter Thiel Foundation, which is offering students $100,000 to leave college and start their business success dreams. However, in a cover-up Tumblr post, Charlie withdrew from the competition. This earned her plenty of media attention, way more than before. Charlie then discovered the free application for Federal Student Aid or FAFSA after graduating from college. FAFSA distributes $249 billion in federal aid to 13 million students yearly. But acquiring FAFSA is known to be difficult, causing billions to be unclaimed yearly. This is where Charlie Javis comes soaring in. She devised to simplify the application to just 5 minutes or less. She quoted, "It's totally free, that's really important to us for all students to benefit from. So, a student takes a picture of their tax returns, then we do all the tax math for you. So no math errors that can put you into very complicated verification. Very simple language. We take a flow that might take hours with the federal government, and most students take 4 minutes with us. So that's more or less how it works. You see how much you're eligible for. Then you can go to school, feel confident, see what your bill is, and then figure out the gap to help you." This then spawned Frank Financial Aid. Charlie then used the media exposure she acquired, and she was easily able to find financing for the project in just a few years. She was able to raise $20 million in funding and was able to register 300,000 users. On record, Frank sounds like the next Facebook or Amazon. Charlie was also able to promote herself as a rising star in the business world, and she was able to be on Forbes' prestigious 30 Under 30 list in 2019. However, cracks began to form in her so-called successful business. In 2017, the Department of Education issued a cease and desist letter to Charlie Javis. The issue? Frank may mislead students into thinking that Frank was connected with the government. With this problem, Frank then issued a statement saying that the company is not associated with the government. In December 2017, Charlie Javis wrote a piece in New York Times titled "The 8 Most Confusing Things About FAFSA." The article then had to make certain corrections due to multiple inaccuracies about the aid process. Now, to make things more confusing, how does a company CEO specializing in FAFSA got so many wrong things about it? But you know what is better than being confused? subscribing, and hitting that bell button to know more about business, finance, and technology. So what are you waiting for? Click that subscribe button now. In 2021, Charlie has begun venturing out to sell the company. Enter JP Morgan Chase. JP Morgan saw Frank as a great way to increase market share and secure talent in that business sector. Charlie pitched Frank as, quote, an acquisition machine amassing over 4.5 million customers. She also claimed that Frank knew more about students than any college lender or employer. After a few business meetings, she managed to convince JP Morgan to buy her business for $175 million. It was payday for Charlie, but the bank had to do a risk and compliance check and conduct an investigation, audit, and review. And one of the things on JP Morgan's list is to check the 4.25 million customers that Charlie said she gathered. JP Morgan was also willing to pay more for the quality of their customer base. Then, something bizarre happened. Charlie refused to give the list of the users, citing privacy concerns. But this was not the only reason. Charlie was trying to conceal something. The truth was far from the lie. Charlie stated that there were 4 million users. But the truth is, there were fewer than 300,000 users. But Charlie needed to present the data for the deal to proceed, and she will not let anything stop her to get that $1 million deal. Charlie is at a crossroad, and the only viable path is to fabricate the 4 million users. But before this, she was worried to lose JP Morgan because she lost another bidder due to them seeing the real numbers of users. Fearing another company to pass up on her, she devised a plan to falsify the data. Charlie needed to figure out how to fabricate the data fast and precisely. This is where a chief growth officer and a New York professor get involved. Do you think Charlie's plan is foolproof? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button too to know more about finance, business, and technology. Olivia Amar was Charlie's chief growth officer. She devised a plan for the company's top engineer to create fake accounts, but the engineer questioned the legality of it. Charlie, however, assured them that no one will end up in prison. But the engineer refused to do the task. But Charlie had a backup, a New York professor who specialized in creative solutions for data problems. The professor and his assistant created an algorithm that would create 4 million fake accounts. They created the accounts based on real customer data. Charlie paid the professor $18,000, and then they sent the data to JP Morgan. Surprisingly, JP Morgan accepted the fake data presented to them, and it was payday for Charlie and the company. But they had to cover their tracks. So she ordered the destruction of the fake customer data within minutes of the third-party company verifying the data. Amar, however, spent $105,000 to secure separate data for 4.5 million students. This was a plan B in any case the other set of data failed. Charlie received $10 million in compensation along with a $20 million additional retention bonus as managing director at JP Morgan. Amar received $5 million and a $3 million bonus as executive director. Charlie went on social media and posted a quote, "It's not every day that an entrepreneur gets her fairy tale new beginning, not ending." However, the cracks are getting bigger, and Charlie and her fraud was slowly being exposed. JP Morgan was integrating the company into their operations a couple of months later. They sent advertisement emails to 400,000 Frank customers. And this is where everything goes wrong. Only 20 emails were delivered, and only a mere 1% of it was opened. Going deeper, they discovered the email exchange with the professor. Charlie and Amar were in the red. Both of them are suspended from their post at JP Morgan. In December 2022, JP Morgan filed charges against them. Charlie countersued for unjust termination, but the court found evidence regarding the supposed fraud. On April 2023, she was found guilty on 4 separate counts of falsely and dramatically inflated Frank's customer numbers and, quote, fraudulently induced JP Morgan to acquire her company. JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon called the acquisition a huge mistake. And if we further dig into Charlie Javis's life, we can see that she was not the person we all think she was. It was traced that her venture during college called PowerUp was technically non-existent. There were no records of it or partnership deals. Those so-called partners denied connection with the venture. In 2013, Charlie said in Wharton magazine that she was able to raise $300,000 from friends and family, but a former board member exposed that the company did not distribute a single loan. She also lied about the Peter Thiel Scholarship. Mel Gibson oversaw the grants, stated she was never offered a fellowship, and it bothers me that she's going around saying that. Because of her personality, we didn't trust that she could get started in a real way. Her team was reportedly cheated during a scavenger hunt challenge for the scholarship trials. Despite all of this, the Project Frank was able to secure $10 million in funding. But this company is also a mess. First, it was a job search website that connected young workers with job opportunities. Then, it was a credit score website. Then finally, it was what it is currently today. According to insiders, Frank was very rocky at the start and ran out of money. This led to Charlie being sued by Addie Omesi in 2018 for wage theft. But Charlie was a marketing genius, and she was able to turn the table around back to her favor. She stated, "The layoffs were the most difficult time in her life. Aside from being a master manipulator, she is also a liar." One investor stated that Charlie claimed that there are thousands of signups when they really had none. Charlie then stated that, "Listen, these old people don't understand. This is how it works. You fake it till you make it." Charlie Javis is currently on bail for $6 million and is currently restricted to New York and South Florida. Charlie's story was a great example of a marketing genius lying and manipulating their way to the top. She was, however, not able to use her marketing skills when she tried to scam JP Morgan. This is also a clear example that the term "fake it till you make it" does not always work. In today's fast-paced world, tech investors often overlook ethical behavior to not miss out on the next big thing. We can conclude that Charlie Javis is like Icarus. She flew too close to the sun and crashed straight to prison for fraud. But as long as there is a $1 million idea, there will always be a $1 million scam. If you are interested in more about finance stories, whether it may be success or failure, upcoming technology, and business tips, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that notify bell so you'll be notified about new videos soon. Comment down below what you think about the story of Charlie Javis, and let me know what you think of this video. This is Finance Spur, and have a great day.